Hello and welcome to your 10 at 10. Today is March 12th, 2024. Today I'm going to talk about successful buyer consultations. So this is going to be more and more and more important as we go on. And there's going to be a turning point after these NAR lawsuits around the country, and it shouldn't really affect us nearly as much as some of the other states. I believe there's 11 states total that already use buyer's agency, and we are one of them. So I think that's an awesome thing. I think we've been doing the right things probably before, some of the other states are coming along. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the importance of the buyer consultation. Everybody, well, at least most agents, and I used to view it this way too. I always viewed the buyer consultation as a way to find out what they're looking for and a way to sell myself. But at conference just last week, Candace Brown shared some successful tips to us, and I want to share those with you. So it is important to sell yourself. You want to come across as confident and confident, right? Confident and confident, and know what you're doing. Know, convey to them that you know what you're doing, know what you're talking about, and know how to actually help them buy a house. It's not an opportunity to tell them every single little trick or technique that you use. It is an opportunity to share success stories with them. Um, but what's equally important is you need to use it as an opportunity to interview them. There's four things that you should be looking for before you start showing them a house. Okay? The first one, before you invest really any time into them, the decision is this: either I'm going to start helping them right away, go look at houses and da 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 da, or I'm going to nurture them for a while. Okay? And maybe it's one, maybe it's the other, and maybe it's neither. And these four things that you're looking for will tell you why. Okay? The first one is motivated. Are they motivated? Are they looking to buy a house in the next 6 months? Or do they use terms like, oh, well, we've got a 3-year plan, and if we can find a house in the next 3 years, we'll do it. You need to figure out how motivated they are. Ask questions like, oh, are you renting or do you have a house now? Where are you living? Oh, we're renting, but our lease isn't due up until, we just renewed, so we have 12 months. Okay, if they have 12 months, are they going to go buy a house right away? Probably not. You're probably going to want to nurture them for a few months before you actually start looking for homes. If they're living in the basement of their in-laws, they're probably motivated, right? Like that's always a good sign. If you guys understand what I'm talking about. The other thing we're looking for is, are they realistic? This is a big one, especially for somebody that hasn't bought a home in the last 5 years. Like the last 5 years, homes have increased in value. If they aren't aware of that, you need to know that up front. If they want 4,000 square feet for under $200,000 anywhere in the state of Michigan, you better ask if they want to live in like two double wides that are pushed together or something like that, right? If they're talking about, I want lakefront on Lake Michigan for under $1 million. Okay, have you considered living in a boat? Because that's what it's going to take, right? You got to figure out how realistic they are. And if through this conversation during your buyer consultation, you don't think they're going to be realistic, you got to ask yourself whether you want to invest time, effort, and energy into them. The third one, and this is a big one: qualified. Have they spoken to a lender? Every single one of us have heard, oh, it's not going to be a problem. Well, good. If it's not going to be a problem, then let's do it right now before we go looking at houses. It's a big deal. You never know what somebody has in their past, what somebody's spouse has in their past. If they've been married, divorced, this, that, or the other thing, all of those things affect whether you can actually have the ability to buy a house. And I'm not going to show houses if they're not qualified. Oh, well, I've got cash. Sweet. Send me just a letter from your bank that says that you have, enough money to buy a house in your bank account. Oh, it's not in your bank account. It's in a retirement account. Oh, well, can I get a letter from your financial advisor that shows that you can actually pull that money out to buy a house? It's all I need, but I want to make sure you're qualified before we invest any time, effort, energy, and money into finding you a house. And this is just as much for the buyer as it is for you, because the last thing you want is to find them the perfect house and then they don't have the ability to buy it. That's a big deal. Now, this one is probably as important as any of them, and it's always been a part of my questions at my buyer consultation, but I know many people, many agents don't use this one. Loyal. How do we find out whether they're going to be loyal or not? Well, it's a feeling. But at the same time, the questions I like to ask: have you looked at any homes yet? Have you talked to another realtor? Are you related to a realtor? It seems like almost everybody is. And then when they say, yeah, then how do you respond? I typically respond something like this: oh, well, I'm glad I brought it up. I'm glad it's out in the open. I just want to make sure you understand how it works. I don't get paid by showing houses. I get paid when we find you a house, come to terms, and close on it. So before I sacrifice time away from my family, my friends, my other clients, my agents, my business, and sacrifice my life for you, I just want to make sure I'm going to get compensated for it. So if if I help you and do all the things that I say I'm going to do right up to a closing, you're not going to bring somebody else in at the very end and have them get paid for the work that I'm doing. You wouldn't do that, would you? It's a very, very important thing. And it's important to have that conversation during your buyer consultation before you even show them a house. Now, if you're one of those agents that want to show them a house first and do the buyer consultation at that first home, I'm perfectly fine with that. I just want to make sure you're asking the questions and making sure all four of those things are true or in your favor before you waste a lot of your time, effort, and energy. Anyways, I hope you have a great day and do your best to make today awesome.